3 out of every 100 people retire with $1 million saved. You are almost certainly not one of them. Not because you didn't work hard enough, not because you made bad decisions, because the system that was supposed to get you there was never designed to get you there. Somewhere in the early 1980s, corporate America made a quiet decision about your retirement. They didn't announce it, they didn't ask, they just stopped guaranteeing it. Your grandfather had a pension, a number, a date, a promise. You got a matching contribution up to 3% and a password to a website you checked twice a year. They called it empowering the employee. The median retirement balance for Americans approaching retirement right now is $185,000. That is not empowerment. That is a result. And the people who designed that result are not worried about their retirement. They have pensions. Here is how it actually worked. The 401k was not invented as a retirement vehicle. It was a tax shelter for high-income executives who wanted to defer compensation. That is not an opinion. That is what it said in the original legislation. The provision was added to the tax code in 1978, almost as an afterthought. Nobody in Congress was thinking about the guy running a forklift in Toledo. Then Ted Benna, a benefits consultant in Pennsylvania, found the loophole in 1980 and figured out you could use it for rank-and-file employees too. Corporate America did not see a way to help workers retire. They saw a way to get out from under pension obligations that were getting expensive. A pension requires the company to fund it, manage it, and guarantee it for life. A 401k requires the company to do none of those things. You fund it. You manage it, and if the market drops 40% the year you are planning to retire, that is your problem. Between 1983 and 2016, the share of private sector workers with only a pension dropped from 62% to 17%. The share with only a 401k went from 12% to 71%. That did not happen because workers demanded it. It happened because CFOs ran the numbers. And the scorecard they handed you on the way out the door, the login, the brochure, the little pie chart showing your allocation, that scorecard never told you what number you actually needed to hit. It just showed you what you had, which for most people was never going to be enough. The average 401k contribution rate when these plans launched was around 6%. Financial planners will tell you today you need to save 15% of your income for 30 years to have a reasonable shot at a comfortable retirement. Nobody told you that in 1987. Nobody put it in the brochure. They told you to contribute enough to get the match. 3%, maybe 4%. Get the free money, they said. What they didn't say is that 3% of a $40,000 salary is $1,200 a year, and $1,200 a year for 30 years at 7% annual return is $113,000. That is not retirement. That is 14 months of expenses, if you're lucky. You followed the instructions on the scorecard. The scorecard was never designed to get you to $1 million. Now let's talk about what the numbers actually look like. The median retirement savings for Americans between 55 and 64, people who are months or a few years from leaving the workforce, is $185,000, not per person, per household. If you and your spouse have been working and saving for 30 years and you are 2 years from retirement, the middle of the American distribution is $185,000 combined. 30 years of work, 2 people, $185,000. Using the 4% withdrawal rule, the standard guideline for how much you can pull from a portfolio annually without running out of money, $185,000 generates $7,400 a year. That is $616 a month. That is not a retirement income. That is a car payment. Social Security adds to it. The average benefit right now is about $1,907 a month. So the median near-retirement household is looking at roughly $2,500 a month in total income before taxes. The average retired household spends about $5,000 a month. They are $2,500 short every single month, and they have no more runway to fix it. That is not a savings problem. That is an instructions problem. Here is what 3% looks like over a full career. Median household income in the United States right now is about $80,000. 3% of that is $2,400 a year, $200 a month. $2,400 a year for 35 years at 7% annual return, the historical average of the S&P 500 after inflation, produces $338,000. That is if you never missed a contribution. That is if you never pulled from it early. That is if you started at 25 and worked straight through to 60. Perfect execution of the instructions you were given produces $338,000. The finish line is $1 million. You followed the scorecard exactly, and you are still $662,000 short. Nobody is going to refund you the difference. Now here's what 15% looks like over the same period. 15% of $80,000 is $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month. $12,000 a year for 35 years at 7% produces $1,690,000. Same income, same market, same 35 years. The only difference is the number on the brochure. They gave you 3%. The actual number was 15. That gap between what you were told and what you actually needed, that is not a financial literacy failure. That is the scorecard working exactly as designed. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. Even if you did everything right, even if you saved 15% from your first paycheck, the industry found another way into your account. Fees. The average 401k charges between 0.5% and 2% in annual fees. You never saw a bill. Nothing showed up in your mailbox. The number in your account just grew a little slower than it should have every single year, and nobody called to explain why. A 1% annual fee on a $500,000 portfolio is $5,000 a year. It left your account in 2019, it left your account in 2020, it left your account in 2021. Every year, regardless of whether the market went up or down. Over a 35-year career, that 1% fee cost you approximately $175,000 in lost compounding. Not $175,000 in fees you can point to on a statement. $175,000 that was supposed to be yours, quietly redirected before you ever saw it. And what did you get for it? Professionally managed funds that underperform a basic index fund the majority of the time. You paid for expertise that statistically made your retirement worse. The industry calls this active management. Comment below right now. If you had the choice, would you rather your employer offer a pension or just increase the 401k match percentage? I want to see where everyone actually stands on this. Now let's talk about why most people never close the gap even when they know it exists. The contribution limits on a 401k right now are $23,000 a year if you are under 50. That sounds generous until you do the math on what life actually costs. Start with housing. In 1987, when the 401k was becoming the dominant retirement vehicle in America, the median home price was about $104,000. Median household income that year was about $26,000. That is a ratio of 4 to 1. Today, the median home price is approximately $420,000. Median household income is about $80,000. That is a ratio of 5.5 to 1. Your mortgage payment did not just get bigger in dollar terms, it got bigger as a percentage of everything you make. But the price is only half of it. In 2021, you could finance that $420,000 home at 3%. Your monthly payment was roughly $1,770. Today, that same $420,000 home finances at 7%. Your monthly payment is roughly $2,796. Same house, same price, $1,026 more every single month. That is $12,312 a year that did not exist as a retirement obstacle 3 years ago. Invested at 7% over 20 years, that $12,312 annually would have been worth $537,000. It is going to the bank instead. Every dollar that goes to the mortgage is a dollar that cannot go to the 401k, and the mortgage got more expensive faster than the paycheck got larger. Now, add healthcare. In 1984, employer-sponsored health insurance cost the average American worker about $1,000 a year in premiums. Today, the average worker pays over $6,000 a year just in premiums, before deductibles, before copays, before the $4,000 bill that shows up 6 weeks after a routine procedure because one of the doctors was out of network. That is a 6-fold increase. Wages over the same period grew roughly 2.5 times. Healthcare did not get more expensive because Americans got sicker. It got more expensive because the industry that prices it answers to shareholders, not patients. That $5,000 annual increase in healthcare alone would have been worth $498,000 invested over 35 years at 7%. It went to premiums instead. Now add childcare. The average cost of full-time childcare in the United States is now over $15,000 a year per child. In major cities, it is closer to $25,000. That is more than in-state college tuition at most public universities. The 401k contribution limit is $23,000 a year. One child in daycare costs more than the entire annual contribution limit. 2 children costs more than double. The system was designed when one income could cover a mortgage, raise a family, and still leave something for retirement. That world does not exist anymore. The contribution limit went up. Everything else went up faster. The scorecard assumes a life that most people cannot afford to live, and so they contribute what they can, which is not enough, which was always going to produce exactly the number we started with. 3 out of 100 people retire with $1 million. This channel exists to show you the mechanics before you need them. If that matters to you, subscribe. You're 47 years old. You've been contributing to your 401k for 22 years. You started at 3% because that is what the enrollment form suggested. You bumped it to 6% when you got a raise in 2014. Your current balance is $112,000. You have roughly 18 years left before a standard retirement age. At your current contribution rate and a 7% annual return, you will finish with approximately $380,000. That generates $15,200 a year under the 4% rule. Social Security will add somewhere around $22,000 annually if you have paid in consistently. Your total retirement income will be approximately $37,200 a year before taxes. You are currently spending more than that every 4 months. The retirement your grandfather had, the one with the number, the date, the promise, that retirement was not taken from him. It was taken from you. Before you were old enough to know what a 401k was, the scorecard was already printed. Your name was already on it.